under your rib cage. So you could just have a cushion if you don't have a towel, but just so you're just elevated a little. So just the back of your rib cage, and then lie down. Knock your knees together and feet wide. You can straighten your legs if you like, that just might intensify a little more. And then just following your breath. So feeling the expansion of the rib cage. It's harder to feel the belly from this position, but just drawing the breath in deep. Just a couple more rounds of breath here. And then rolling off your towel roll and come to sit facing me. So you can prop yourself up on the towel roll for a moment. We're just going to practice Ujjayi breath, so breath with sound. So Ujjayi breath is the breath that yogis use when they're moving. So it's like an audible sound, but it means ocean breath or victorious. So it's like the sound of the sea, which doesn't mean that often. I don't know if you've been into yoga classes, and often it's men that make a hell of a lot of noise, and it's not really that. It's not like just lots of huffing and puffing. It's a slight restriction at the back of the throat, so a little bit more like Darth Vader's breath. Excuse me. So if you practice here, just sit nice and tall, inhaling deeply, exhaling completely, and then inhale through your nostrils, and then you're going to leave your mouth open and just say the ha sound as you let the breath out. But it's like a long, slow breath, so you're not like you're puffing, going uphill. It's more like you're misting gently a mirror or something. So practice that for a few times. So on the exhale, just with your mouth open. And then you're going to try the sound, so the same action through the back of the throat, feeling that little rasp, but keeping your mouth closed. So nice and soft. You don't want to like cause yourself to cough or anything. And it takes practice, and often with the Ujjayi breath, there's nothing more powerful when you feel it, that you know that you're actually doing it without thinking. It's sound of it brings your thought back. It's about like doing a breath practice, so pranayama at the beginning of a session it draws your awareness back to the breath, so it brings you back to centre. So say your thoughts are scattered, that's ujjayi, is that. And also it's really powerful when you have a whole room of you and you're following the instructor and everybody's breathing the same, and it's just like a whole sort of wave of energy. It's really powerful, but mainly it's the focus for your movement. That's why I'll call out every now and then the inhale, the exhale, so that you can follow your breath. So the breath is the most important thing, and then we make the shapes from there. Okay, so I'll mention ujjayi breath a little bit as we go along, meaning just prompting you to have a go and practice. But obviously if you get to the point where you are losing, you're starting to puff, then you just take normal breaths. So coming, while we're sitting here, come off your towel rail and then take the legs, so have your knees to the left, and then I call this mermaid. So just spreading the knees, so the front leg, your left leg, the shin will be parallel to the edge of the mat. Just point your toe, other leg just softly bent behind you. And then you're going to turn, put both hands on the right thigh, lift up through your chest. So squeeze your core, lift your pelvic floor, navel towards your spine, and then gently, you're not really pulling on your hands, but just gently drawing the chest around, so the left side of the chest is rolling across. And turn to look over your right shoulder, keep the shoulders away from your ears. So squeezing out the organs, nice little gentle twist in the spine, just gently. And then inhale, come back to centre, put your right hand, your right hand against the ribs. You're going to lift the left hand up, and then as you're going to lean over to the side, you're going to put some pressure on your ribs, so really feeling the stretch up through the left side of the body. And then inhale, come back to centre, change legs the other direction, mermaid. And then both hands go to the left thigh, lift up through the core, relax your shoulders, and then spiralling. So you're kind of spiralling from the bottom of the rib cage. Squeezing gently, look behind you. Inhale, release, come back to centre. Then taking the left hand against the ribs, lift the right hand up and lean over to the side. So gentle pressure on the ribs, and that full stretch up through the right side of the body. Inhale, back to centre, and then we're going to do far log but the hip stretch. So you want to cross the ankles but deeply, so the shins are kind of crossing in the middle, and then flex your feet. So you want to flex at the ankles so the toes are pointing more forward. Sit up nice and tall, reach your hands forward, fingertips go down, and then slide your fingertips away from you. Relax your head, press the fingertips down, and then draw your shoulder blades down your back. So it's as if you're trying to drag your fingertips back towards you. Feel a nice stretch. Oh, one thing I forgot to say, sorry. Move your hips back a little so the front shin is in line with the front of the mat. Sorry, that deepens the stretch a little. So you can feel that more in the right hip. And then walk your fingertips back up. Cross the legs the other way. So deep cross, and again flexing the feet so the toes point to the front of the mat. Have the front shin in line with the front edge of the mat. Lift thrusting up through the core, lean forward, slide your fingertips away, and you've gone as far as you can. Relax your head, draw your shoulder blades down your back, press the fingertips in and drag them back towards you. Then inhaling, coming back up, uncross the legs. You're going to come onto your hands and knees and sit back in child's pose, Balasana. So knees wide, toes touching. Sit back towards your heels and slide your palms away from you. So your forehead and the tip of the nose on the mat. Keep your elbows lifted. So as you press your palms down, push them away from you and feel your hips reaching towards your heels. If knees are really sore, you can roll onto your back and do this with your knees hugged into your chest. Feeling that lovely stretch through the spine, opening through the hips. And then inhale, coming up into tabletop. So knees under hips, hands under shoulders, tuck your toes under. And then inhale, this is cat-cow. So as you inhale, look up, tip the tailbone up. So press through, palms press down, lift up the chest, look up. This is cow, and then exhale to cat. Rounding through the back, lowering the head, tucking the tailbone under, and then using your own breath on each inhale, looking up, tailbone up, and then exhale, rounding the back, looking under, tuck the tailbone. Use your own breath, inhale, up, exhale, down. And think of the action of the shoulder blades. So when you come into the cat position, just looking down, tuck the tailbone, really press through the palms, straight arms, and lift up. You want to dome through the upper back. And then letting the chest sink, looking up once more, inhaling to cat. And then come back to neutral. We're going to sit on a block or a cushion, but you might actually want to be a bit higher. So, because you're going to come into Gomukhasana, which is cow face. So, sitting up, and you'll see why in a minute, you can remove levels on another day, but for today, you're going to lie the left shin along the mat with the heel just coming to the outside of your hip, and then you're going to cross, ideally you want to cross the knees, point the toes outwards, you want to move the feet out slightly, and see if you can drop your knees. Oops. So this is why we're sitting upright. You might be nowhere near knees together, but this is why this is cow face because of the horns. So find your version of, even if one knee is up, that's fine. It's working into the hips. So the height helps, because if you're sitting on the floor, it's a lot more intense. Keeps sliding off. A lot more intense, but no pain. You should feel maybe a burning sensation through the thighs, which is stretching. Come off, falling off. Okay, so if it's a bit too intense, you can straighten one leg and just have the knees stacked but only one knee bent. So see, just realised I can't actually see you. I don't know why that happened. the arms in. Take your arms wide, and then you're going to bring the left arm under, bend at the elbows. If you can, palms together. If not, just squeeze the backs of the forearms or the elbows in towards each other. And then lift the elbows up to shoulder height. Squeeze elbows towards each other. Lower your chin slightly. Lovely stretch through the top of the shoulders. Inhale and then exhale, release. Tip back, release the legs. We can do the other side. So now the right leg is on the bottom. So seeing if you can keep knees fairly together, feet out wider if you can. But again, if you need to modify and have the bottom leg straight, then inhale, take your arms wide. And this time we're going to take the left arm on top, bend at the elbows, pretzel the arms, lift the elbows up to shoulder height. Feel that lift in the chest, core engaged, and then lower your chin towards the chest. Inhale, and then as you exhale, release. Unlock the legs and come to stand at the front of the mat. So we're going to go through our sun salutes, but we're going to do 2 rounds of Surya Namaskar A, sun salute A, but we're going to do lunging sun salutes. So standing in mountain at the front of your mat, which is full alignment, lift your toes, spread them, place them down, lift up through the thighs, so your kneecaps lift, pelvic floor, your root lock, your solar plexus lock, Uddiyana Bandhas, that's drawing the navel towards the spine and up. Fingertips reaching towards the earth, so shoulders relaxed. Then inhale, arms up, palms together, look up at your thumbs. Then exhale, tip the tailbone up. You can bend the knees if you need to, floating the hands down. You can rest fingertips down and keep the knees bent, or straight legs, hold onto your elbows, whichever works. Inhale to halfway lift, extending the chest forward. And then fingertips down, take the right foot back, drop the right knee down, flatten the foot, come up onto the left thigh. But here it's like sink the hip, so you want the right knee way behind the hip, so you feel this lovely stretch through the right thigh, and almost like rather than being here, just stroke that thigh forward. Chest is lifting, core is engaged, sinking the hips down, and then settle into that. And inhaling, palms go down, tuck the right toes under, step the left foot back, roll forward into plank. Pause here, so hands placed well, index finger pointing directly forward, and then fingers spreading from that, doming through the upper back, so push up between your shoulder blades. And then drop your knees, hug your elbows, so you want to roll the eye of the elbow so it points forward, so you can bend your elbows beside your ribs. Lower yourself down. And you're trying not to banana down, so we're trying not to take the hips down first. And then inhale to cobra, tops of the feet pressing in, lifting the chest, draw the shoulder blades down your back. So bent elbows. Exhale, lying down again, tuck the toes under, come to your knees. Then lift your hips, coming into down dog. So here, first dog of the day, so press through the palms, straight arms, so pressing down to lift up through the tailbone. And then elbow
elbows, knees bent, and then slowly paddle one heel, then the other, walk the dog. So relax your head. Okay, then inhaling, lift the right leg behind you, roll forward into plank, right knee to nose, and then bring the right foot between your hands. You're staying in a runner's lunge, so keep the left knee up, reach the chest forward, so trying to lift up through the left thigh, and then step left foot next to right, come to halfway lift. Exhale, fold, so you can bend your knees. And then inhale, lifting up through the thighs, the core, the chest. Arms come up, palms together. Exhale, hands to heart center. Other side. Inhale, arms up, look up. Exhale, float forward, forward fold. Inhale, halfway lift. Tip the tailbone up, strong through the chest, so core engaged, and then fingertips down. Take the left foot back, drop the left knee way behind the hips, flatten the foot, come up onto that thigh, and then brush the thigh gently forward, so get the lift in the chest, core is engaged, sinking through the hips, so lovely stretch. Okay, palms down, tuck the left toes under, step the right foot back, roll forward into plank. Pause here, so shoulders above wrists, squeeze the shins and the thighs towards each other, pushing up between the shoulder blades, and then drop your knees, roll the eye of the elbow forward so you can bend your elbows, and then pay attention to your hips. Hips come down the same time as the chest. Flatten the feet, coming up into cobra. So cobra, press the tops of the feet down so your kneecaps lift. Press the pubic bone in, and then draw your elbows down towards your waist. So you're not like this, with the elbows up. You want the shoulders up, draw them away from the ears. And then lowering down, tuck your toes under, come to your knees, lift your hips, down dog. So now press down through the palms, squeeze tailbone up to the ceiling, bend your knees, up on your toes, and then start to take your thigh bones back, so straightening the legs, and if you can, you'll lower the heels, but it's not important to get the heels on the ground or the legs straight. What's important is the spine. Get it long. Then inhaling, lift the left leg up behind you, roll forward into plank, left knee to nose, bring the left foot between your hands. If it needs a helping hand, take the back of the calf to bring it forward. Runner's lunge. And then step right foot forward, come to halfway lift. Exhale, fold. Inhale, rising up, palms together. Exhale, hands to heart center. So one round of full Surya Namaskar A, Sun Salute A. Standing in mountain. Inhale, arms up, palms together, look up. Exhale, float forward, forward fold. Inhale to halfway lift, extend the spine, look up. Exhale, bend your knees, palms down, step back, roll into plank. Press up between the shoulder blades, hug the shins and thighs to the midline. If you want to drop your knees, otherwise we're lowering, bending the elbows beside you, chaturanga. and then lower to cobra or up dog. Those of you who know it. Exhale, tuck the toes. See if you can, if you've gone via your knees, come to your knees first, but if you can, you're going to press up. Lift your hips, come into down dog. So 3 breaths. Ujjayi breath. So practice here. That restriction at the back of the throat, the ha sound with your mouth closed. It helps to regulate the breath. This is considered a resting pose between the tough ones. Okay, then inhaling, up on your toes, bend your knees, look forward, step forward to halfway lift. Exhale, fold. Inhale, rising up. Palms together, exhale, hands to heart center. So we're going to do 1 round of Surya Namaskar B, Sun Salute B. So for those who are new, this is similar but different. We're adding in chair pose, which is this one, and Warrior 1. So Warrior 1 is with the front foot pointing forward with the knee bent, and then you want your feet hip distance apart with the back foot, the heel down, but the foot pointing to the side, because this now, you want your hips level with the front of the mat, and then the arms go up, and you look up, so it's like a little back bend as well. Talk you through it. So inhaling to chair pose, so you're going to sit down, bring your arms up, but you want to have a neutral spine, so you're trying to draw the knees back a little, sit down a little further, and then practice, tip your tailbone up, tuck it under, and then find that midline that activates the core but it's not overstretching the lower back. And then you're going to exhale, straighten the legs, fold forward. So if you need to hold on to your elbows, that's fine. Or fingertips to the ground. Then inhaling, palms down, step the feet back, roll forward into plank, push up between the shoulder blades, drop your knees if you need to, come into chaturanga, that's that low press up. Then inhale to cobra, or more advanced people come to up dog, which is with straight arms, thighs off the mat. Inhale, coming up into down dog. We're now going to go into Warrior 1, so lift your right leg up, bring the right foot between your hands, but have it hip distance apart from your left foot. And then you're going to, as you come up, drop the left heel down, toes point out to the side of the mat. You want your hips turning towards the front of the mat. Sink through the right knee, keep the knee above the ankle, and bring your arms up. And to help keep your arms up, you can do James Bond fingers, so you can clasp the hands with the index finger. That makes it easier to hold your hands, and then look up at your thumbs. Then exhale, palms down, roll onto the ball of the left foot, step back, you're doing really well. Roll forward into plank, drop your knees if you need to, come through chaturanga, inhale, cobra or up dog, and then coming by your knees if you need to, coming up into down dog. Inhale, lift the left leg, Warrior 1 on the left side, so bring the left foot between your hands, drop the right heel, feet hip distance apart, sink through the left knee, bring your arms up, James Bond fingers if you need them, look up, then exhale, palms down, step back, roll into plank, lowering to the mat, inhale to your back bend, cobra or up dog, exhale, tuck toes, come up into down dog. Take 3 breaths. How's that breath going? Ujjayi breath, try to regulate your breathing here. If you need to bend your knees, and at any point if you feel you need to take a break, then just come down into child's pose, just knees wide, sit back on your heels, rest your head. Inhaling, up on your toes, bend your knees, come forward to halfway lift. Exhale, fold. Bend your knees. Inhale to chair pose. And then squeeze your thighs, lifting up, palms together. Exhale, hands to heart center. Well done. Squeezing my hair grip. Take a breather. Okay. From the front of the mat, inhale, lift your left knee, and then step back into warrior 2. So that's the left foot parallel to the back of the mat, right foot points forward, and then sink through the right knee. So unlike warrior 1, which was the hips are rolling to the front, warrior 2 is the thighs externally rotating. So real hip opener here. Take your arms wide. And then shoulders stacked above hips. Sink the hips a little more. Look over your front hand. Doing a bit of arm work today. So bring your arms into cactus. So the top of your arms are at shoulder height. Keep sinking through the right knee. Keep that knee. Glance down. Check you can see your big toe on the right foot. If not, that means the common thing is that the knee will roll in like this, because we're quite weak on the inside, so you want to realign it so the knee is above. Okay, then coming straight in the front leg, take your arms wide. Then coming back into warrior 2 legs, bend the front knee. This time you're going to cactus arms, but you're going to draw the elbows down a little and then hug squeeze the shoulder blades towards each other. Keep sinking through the hips down. Inhale, take the arms wide, straighten the front leg. And then bending again, cactus. But this time, really draw the elbows down towards your waist and back. So we're trying to work the scapula. So now we're down at the lowest point of the shoulder blades. Inhale, come up, arms wide, straighten the front leg. Take a breath. Then we're going to bend through the front knee, feet stay the same. Coming to side angle. So there's modifications of this if you've got your block or a cushion. So you can put the block at whatever height you want of the inside of the front foot. So this is the first modification, is to have your forearm resting with the palm facing up on the front leg. Bring your left hand to your sacrum. So keep really paying attention to when we come into a little twist. So here, or you can come to the block, but don't go any lower than that at the moment. The full pose is the palm down, but you need to be able to open through the left shoulder. Okay, so now releasing the top arm up, sweep it over your ears, and then it's like have the palm facing down, and then it's like you're screwing your arm into the socket. Turn the thumb up, so palm down, and then roll the thumb up, and then you want to bring the right side of the ribs across the thigh. So opening the left side of the ribs up to the ceiling, looking up under your armpit. Side stretch. Feel the length from the outside edge of your back foot to your fingertips. Inhale, look down. Exhale, come up. So we're going to bring the legs into warrior one legs, back foot pointing slightly forward, feet hip distance apart. Bend through the left knee. And again, modifications of whichever height you want the block, but the first level of the twist is palms together. Well, actually, bring one hand to your thigh and then bring your tricep over, then bring your palms together and the top elbow points up. If you want to come to, this is twisted side angle, if you want to try to come to the block, whichever level, then you need to bend the knee deeply, so the top of the arm and the elbow, and then you sweep. So whichever version, if you're on with the hand down, you bring the arm up and over, do the thumb twiddle. Yeah, so if your arm's lifted, it's going to sweep over your head. If you're on so Anna, bring your elbow across your thigh. Can you go, so are you here? You want it over. The other way, so right leg should be forward. Right leg forward, and then the left elbow goes right over, so you can twist. Yes, that's better. Well done. Okay. Then inhale, look down, unravel yourself. And then come to step forward. So we're trying to, as Socrates said, if you seek health, then look first to your spine. So we're trying to move it in all sorts of directions, but it needs to be mindful, and obviously bearing in mind your own body. So it's just keeping yourself safe, and you don't need to go just because I've said do that. If it doesn't feel right, then you'll know. Just take a modification, or you can sit it out. So we're going to do the other side. So at the front of your mat, you're going to lift the right leg up, step back into warrior two, sink through the left knee, take your arms wide, lift the chest up, relax the shoulders down, look over your front hand. Check as you look down, can you see the big toe on the inside of your knee? Then bring the arms into cactus, have them level with your shoulders. Squeeze your core, sink your hips, draw those shoulder blades towards each other, so it's like you're taking the elbows back a little. So you'll feel this opening through the chest, and strengthen the back body. Okay, then inhale, take the arms wide, straighten the front leg. And all the time we're working the arms, if you start to feel that getting so tired you're using your traps, like the tops of the shoulders that pinch your neck, then just bring your hands down and just rest your arms a moment. So just feeling, as soon as you start to get into bad alignment, then take a break. Okay, so now back into warrior two, bend at the elbows. Elbows drop down a little and then squeeze them back towards each other. Chest lifting, Ujjayi breath. Inhale, take the arms wide, straighten the front leg. And then last one here, cactus, sink into warrior two legs, elbows come down and then draw them back. Really squeezing the lower part of the scapula. Inhale, coming back. Now we're going to do the side angle. So you can take your modification, bend through the left knee, either resting one hand on your top hand on your sacrum, left hand palm up, or you can come down to the block. But if you're on the block, feel that connection. Squeeze the knee into the
arm and the arm into the knee. And then you're going to start to revolve. So it's like drawing the left side of the ribs across the thigh, opening the right side up, and then sweep the top hand up and over. Palm goes down, point faces the floor, and then screw that arm in, turn the thumb up, and roll the ribs open so you're looking up under your armpit. Keep sinking through the left knee. Well done. Inhale, coming up. So now we do the twisted version. So step the feet apart, and then warrior one leg. So you're going to bend through the left knee above left ankle, right ankle down. I mean, if it's too intense with the ankle down, you can come onto the ball of the foot, but that's a different action through the thigh, but that's a modification. And then, take the block onto the outside. So you're either going to lean forward, bring your right elbow across the thigh, or you're going to reach down for the block. So it's either this action, then palms together. Extend through the crown of the head and turn to look up, or the bottom hand goes to the block or the floor and reach the top arm over. So pick your modification. Oh, Sarah's gone. Okay, and then inhale, coming back up, step to the front of the mat. So we're going to come into tree pose. So from the front of your mat, feet hip distance apart, hands to your hips. And balance, when doing a balancing pose, find your drishti, your soft focus. So you find something that doesn't move in front of you, fix your gaze there. Take your centre of gravity, so the weight goes through the right leg. Inhale the left leg up. And then roll the knee out, point the toes, take hold of the ankle. So if you want to, this is the high version. If you feel a bit wobbly, you can press the sole of the foot into the calf. But wherever you're at, don't press your heel into your knee. So if you can't get any higher, then come lower. Otherwise, the action is the same, but if you're, can't do it and talk, whether you're higher or lower, you want to make sure that you press the outer hip in. That'll stop the foot sliding. So squeeze the foot into the leg and the leg into the foot. That outer hip action is what's going to keep the foot there. And then if you can, you're going to release your hands and bring your arms up. But you can keep your hands to your hips if you prefer. And it doesn't matter how far, if the knee's pointing forward, that's just the hips aren't opening. So stay there. And then exhale, release your hands, release the foot down. And same leg, so it's going to be the left leg. We're going to come into eagle. So now you're going to lift the left foot, cross it over, and then if you can, you're going to bring the toes behind the calf. If not, you just point, squeeze the shins to the calves towards each other and point your toe, hands to hips. Take your arms wide, and now you're going to bring the left arm under the right, palms together or backs of the hands squeezing towards each other. If you can, you'll sit down. So sit down a bit deeper. This is a hip stretch. And if you need to hold on to something, a chair or whatever, that's fine. If you want to do a little back bend, you lift the elbows up. And then exhale to come out. Well done. So, other side. Oh no, I didn't do tree on the other side. So tree first. So take your centre of gravity over the left leg. Inhale, right knee up. Roll the knee out because that helps to open the hip. And then place the foot wherever feels good for you. And then lift your chest, squeeze your core, press your outer hips towards each other so you feel that foot really engaging with the leg. If you can, you can stay here, or if you can, you're going to release the arms, palms together. And the full pose is to look up, so go for it if you... I've got 3 screens I'm looking at here, so I don't know. Okay, stay there, and then exhale, hands to hips, release. Very good. So balancing poses are wonderful for lower leg strength. So if you've got weak ankles or had issues with calves and so on, this is really helping to build strength in the legs individually. So we're going to go into the last of our balances, Warrior 3. Gosh, that's the tongue already. So we did this one this morning, those of you who were there. So hands to hips first. Take the centre of gravity over your left leg. Take the right leg back. And then flex at the ankle. So you want to, heel goes up, and then start to stand up through the standing leg. You can keep your hands on your hips, but you're trying to get the shoulders, hips, and heel in line. So you want to roll the thigh inwards, heel goes up, so toes point down. If you can, you'll release your arms either wide, or that's airplane, or Warrior 3, which is arms forward, but that's a toughie. So if you feel you want to feel it through the legs, but can't do the arm bit, then you can bring your hands to your block. And exhale, release. Well done. So it's understanding like the difference between the internal and external rotation. So here when we go, so when we're in Warrior 1, and the thigh rolls in this way, and that's the motion that we want here, is that you want to roll the thigh in as you lift the leg up. So rather than it being open to the side, you're rolling the hip down. So it's using different muscles through the hip. Okay, other side. Hands to hips. So soften the standing leg a little as you take the other leg back. Oh, I didn't do eagle, did I? Sorry. All over the place. So eagle first. So crossing the thighs, twiddling, hands to hips, twiddling the foot or just pointing the toe down. Take your arms wide and then crossing the left arm under, palms together. If you can, you'll sit down. And if you want to do the little back bend, then you lift your elbows up and the head goes up with it. And exhale, release. And these are tough poses, so it's all, be kind to yourself, it's a work in progress. And then we'll come to our Warrior 3. So taking foot behind, soft through the front leg, the standing leg, flex the toes down, roll that thigh under you as you lift the leg up, straighten the front leg, and then you can take the arms where you feels good. You can hold on to something, you can hold on to the block, airplane or Warrior 3, arms forward. So you'll feel when the arms go that you really have to pull up strongly through the left kneecap. And then exhale, hands to hips, float the right leg back and come to sit on the mat. Just take a breather, get drunk.
and core work. So coming, hands and knees, and then we're going to lift into plank, but feet together. And you can either hold plank or we're going to do a shoulder tap. So this is when you're in plank, tap, tap, tap. So try not to sway too much, really press up, use your breath, and nice and steady. Keep going. Okay, one more each side. And then drop your knees down. Sit up a moment. So, next one, we're going to roll into plank and then see if you can come down onto your forearms, come back up. And keep going. You can drop your knees if you need to. Really think about when you're pressing through the palms, that doming out between the shoulder blades. That's helping them connect to the spine. Well done. Okay, and then release. We're then going to come down onto your forearms and come into plank. So you can clasp the hands if that's easier, or just press the palms down. So roll forward, so elbows under shoulders, round out, so really push up through the elbows as you squeeze your thighs to the midline. You can drop your knees if you need to. So 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Drop down. And then have your block in front of you. If you haven't got a block, if you've got, has everyone got a block? Anna, have you got a block? That'll, English dictionary, very good, that'll do. So you want to have your hands, so your book's a little bit wide, but you want to have your, the block is going to go down like this, so you want to have your thumbs across the top, or the thumbs nearest you, and then your hands are either side. So squeezing the block, come into plank. So this is like practicing our dolphin, so this is for shoulder dips. So you're going to lift your hips and walk your toes in, but keep squeezing the block. Walk the toes out, drop the forearms down if you can, and you want to try and have the wrist and the elbows in a straight line. Relax your head, and then you're going to walk the toes in with the elbows down, the forearms down. Relax your head, push your chest back towards your feet, and then walk the feet out again. Come into plank. And lift your hips. Walk the feet forward. Press the chest. So relax the head down, press the chest towards your feet. And then walk the feet out again. Drop your knees. Come up. This is when online is just horrid because I can't hear a thing, but I just see people in different levels of agony or not. But so this is, we're trying to build strength through the tops of the shoulders as well, to help if people have neck tension and so on. Then all these, obviously we'll do stretches afterwards, but to build a little strength here as well, to help with posture and so on.
and your sport. So the arms, especially like running, the upper body is just as important, or almost as important as the lower body.
Okay, well done. So right, come to lie on your back.
Gosh, time's run. Bring your block or a rolled up towel. We're going to do supported bridge. So lie back. You want to be able to touch your heels, but don't drag the feet right in. You just be able to have your heels falling onto your knees, and then come up on your toes, lift your hips, bring the block under you, level 2, or your cushion or towel roll, and then settle your hips onto there, lower your heels, have your arms beside you, palms down. So just helping the heart a little, because you're letting the blood flow back to it, but also just stretching out the core just very gently. And then lift your hips, remove the block, take your feet wide, take your arms wide, palms down, and lowering the knees to the left, and then inhale up, exhale, lower them to the right. This is windshield wipers. So on the in-breath you come up, on the out-breath drop the knees to the other side. So just go at your own pace. Okay, and then rolling over onto your front. So take your arms wide, palms down, and then you're going to roll over onto your left side, and then lift your right leg, bend the knee and touch the foot behind you. So you can bring your right hand towards your face with the elbow up to help just leverage you into the little twist. I think there's an earthquake in Alison's house. Just stretching out the front of the shoulder. And then rolling back onto your front. And you do the other side. So right arm stretching out to the side, palm down. Bring the left hand beside you, roll onto the right. Touch the left toes or even the foot behind you. So use that left hand to help you into the twist, just gently. Okay, and then coming back to centre, and then coming into relaxation, Shavasana. So get snuggly socks on, come to lie down. If you want to prop cushions under your knees, that's quite nice to help soften the lower back, but otherwise coming into Shavasana, relaxation, corpse pose. So feet to the corners of the mat, rolling out. Arms out to the side, closing your eyes. We'll just rest a few moments. Starting to move fingers and toes. Bring your feet together, stretching your arms out over your head. And then roll onto your right side, curling there for a little moment. And then keeping your eyes closed, press yourself to a seated position facing me. Inhaling deeply, exhaling completely. Bring your palms together at your heart centre, lowering your head and opening your eyes. Namaste. Thank you everyone. Sorry about Raffles was licking his bits at the end there, which is bloody dog.
That it wasn't you. You don't work with animals.
No, God, nightmare. So thank you very much everyone. I'll send you